Yes.
Oh, you were recording that whole time?
Yeah, of course.
Gosh, that's crazy. Usually it's like Oprah recording, but that was even before I thought you were doing it before.
What did you think 3,
It's
2,
even
1
more
go
before.
meant?
You know, it was like, here's the test. 3, 2, 1, go.
No, we already did the test.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brothers Game Podcast. It's ya boy, as everyone calls me, ya boy Nicolai.
And your other boy,
Your other
Brian.
boy, your other little baby boy, Brian, who's
That's
just
me.
so
Hi.
tiny little baby.
Yeah.
You can tell by his voice and the way he's over 30.
I'm a big baby.
Uh-oh, wah. Yeah, listen to Face Jam. Welcome to the Brothers Game. It's true. It's great. Brian, how's it going? How do we start this podcast? How's it going?
Good.
Tell me about your life.
Well, should we just get right into it?
I'm drinking a Highball Energy. Mm-hmm. It's a Highball Energy drink, but it's the seltzer kind. Mm-hmm. They have two. They have the regular ones, which have sugar and everything, and then they have seltzer ones. Mm-hmm. This is just seltzer water, but it has caffeine in it.
Yeah, I know. I've had
They're
those
good.
before. Yeah.
This is the vanilla one.
I like the lime one.
I like the vanilla one a lot. Very nice.
I do not have a beverage because I don't want to have to get up to pee every 20 minutes. So.
And I love getting up to pee every 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you do.
I live for that. So, yeah.
So, in my life lately, let's see. So, as you know.
That was the light banter phase, and now we're moving into the real meat of the podcast.
I've briefly mentioned I have a lot of siblings. I haven't gone into a lot of detail about that. I probably won't. It's a little boring. Yeah, I have more than you do, which is kind of weird, except that we're half siblings. So
true. Yeah.
I have said that before, right? We are only a half brothers.
The half brothers.
This is the half brothers game. That's the full name of the podcast.
We grew up
just
together.
shorten it.
We grew up together, so we feel like full brothers.
Mm-hmm. So because of that, I have a stepbrother, and we're about the same age. He's 2 weeks younger than me, is all. And
unrelated to me in any way.
Yeah. So he moved out of my dad's house. And as part of moving out, he's downsized a bit. And so the other day, my dad comes over, and he's just got boxes full of stuff.
Of crap, dude.
And some of that stuff included video games.
And usually I feel like when stuff like this happens, you get crap.
It's just like the junkiest.
The lowest of the low stuff.
So I get this box full of PS4 games and a fully functioning PS4 and controllers for it, and a PS3 and controllers for it, and a few other things. It's just like, wow, okay.
That's a lot. Okay.
Some of these PS4 games are new in plastic still.
Brand new. Yep. And AAA or at least well-known titles. Yeah.
Yeah. And these weren't just like handed over for safekeeping. These were given to me. And so I picked out games from the pile that I knew I wanted
we went
to
through
play.
them
My From Software collection is much bigger now.
Yep.
I have all the Borderlands games now.
Probably all the Dark Souls games now, right? And you have Bloodborne too. So yeah.
And Sekiro and Ghost of Tsushima.
Yep. Well, Ghost of Tsushima is different. But
oh, is it? Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
It is in the same vein a little bit.
It is kind of similarly styled.
It's lighter. It's much easier than a typical Dark Souls game.
And so we went back to, I went back to Retro Game Trader in Hillsborough.
He did let me go through it as well. So I got some games out of it as well. But.
And my expectations weren't too high. There was a fully working PS4 in the bundle, so I expected at least $100 to $200.
Yeah.
I was just asking for store credit. I wasn't selling them for cash.
I would have expected about $200 for everything you gave.
So they're sitting there for good probably 20 to 30 minutes because there's controllers and stuff.
They're
stuff
testing
that
everything.
They need to test and they come over with a receipt for over $400 of store credit.
Yeah.
So
okay. Yeah.
I can basically that's like all the games I could ever want for the next.
Think of how much Brian could buy
years.
me. Think of how much Brian can get for me now. It's crazy.
And
just how much he can spend on me.
my brother's birthday and
amazing.
Christmas presents for the next few years are covered.
And when next week when he buys me everything, it's just really cool. You give me a look. I don't understand. Interesting.
I'm not sure you know how this works. This is my store credit, not yours.
Interesting. Interesting point. I got a few games out of it as well.
Yeah.
I got basically all of the Resident Evil games, which was really nice. I only had RE4, I think, at the time. So I got the Origins collections, which has 0 and 1 remastered. I have 2 and 3, the new versions, the remakes that very recently came out, which is really cool. And then a port of RE4, all on the PS4 now, which is very sweet.
Yeah, I've never been big into Resident Evil, but
and I've dabbled in it, and I would love to get more into it because I really like the story stuff. And I've watched a lot of Let's Plays of the games, but not really played them as much myself. So
and he had
very happy about that.
In that bundle was the in that box was the Devil May Cry trilogy, the first 3 games, which I had always been a little interested in, but never enough to go out and buy it.
Yeah, I've never played those. That's one of those I just never touched. Yeah.
Yeah, and
featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Yeah. So and then I had Borderlands for Xbox 360 and the Borderlands Handsome Collection for Xbox One, and now suddenly I had Borderlands Handsome Collection and Borderlands 3 all for PS4.
Yeah.
So I had a decision to make.
Yes.
What
are you going to go with?
Do I keep these games for? And so I went ahead and just booted up Borderlands 2 on both systems. Well, actually,
tried them out.
I installed it on both systems and then just played it on the PS4, and I was like, "This is good enough.
This is fine. Yeah,
this is fine." So I now have them all for PS4 and just traded in.
Forget it.
All the ones that I had for the Xbox.
Yeah,
systems.
I have all mine on PS4, obviously, because I don't have an Xbox One. But
right.
Yeah, I think PS4 works quite well for them. I actually also I have all of them for the Switch also. So I think I own Borderlands 2 on at least 4 consoles. Although I think I have it on PC also. Wow. So I think I have 5 copies of Borderlands 2.
Wow.
So that's cool. Because I even have it on the Vita. I have the portable Vita version. So very cool.
Yeah, because in my mind, my PS4 has kind of been my JRPG. And
that's usually how I treat PlayStation
console
stuff is Japanese stuff.
Yeah,
like
and then like
Kingdom
my
Hearts
Xbox is for FPS,
Final Fantasy,
and then my Switch is for
Nintendo
IPs.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly. Yeah, that's usually how I think of them too. But everything's pretty cross-platform now.
Yeah,
and Switch especially gets most of the anime games now.
Yeah,
so it's like. Yeah.
And the fact that I have both an Xbox One and PS4 is I always have to decide which console am I going to get a game for.
Yeah.
Although one of the limiting factors of my Xbox One is just how little space is left on the hard drive because
you have Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, and the Master Chief Collection
it's freaking massive.
Is like 80 gigs worth
so
of updates
big.
Or something. So it's just a huge game. I'm going to have to get an external SSD for the console.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
Just like
you should just have a Master Chief Collection hard drive.
I was considering that one entire drive for one single game.
Speaking of, I won't go too much into it because I know you haven't really seen anything. But the more I see of Halo Infinite, the happier I am about it.
Yeah,
because Halo 5 obviously was a disappointment. To everyone,
and we already talked about that on the podcast.
Yeah.
After I played it, I gave my review, and
unfortunately, that's pretty just widely accepted as the truth.
Yeah,
it's just sort of disappointing, especially to like hardcore Halo fans, you know.
Yeah,
but Infinite,
I think it's inevitable that I'm gonna get it and play it, but I hope I'm not as disappointed as I was with 5.
I pretty much know you'll like it more than 5 at least.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll like it as much as 2 and 3, but
and frankly, if I don't like it better than 4, Reach, and 5, I'm probably done with Halo.
I think you might though, because it looks a lot more like 3 to me.
Yeah. Because I liked 4 and Reach better than 5, but they were still kind of meh.
I really like
for me.
I liked 4 a lot for some reason, multiplayer wise.
Yeah.
I just really got into the feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is much different. I do prefer 3 still, but
It is interesting playing Halo 2 remastered multiplayer maps
So
because it is so
it
different.
feels so different.
And
A lot more like 4.
and honestly, I actually have trouble seeing. It's
It's like too many shadows.
I kind
like
of
too
feel
good.
like an old man, like I need glasses or something because I can't. I don't understand how red and blue people can blend into
blend in so well
brown and
with
green
brown and green
landscapes.
and black
It
shadows.
doesn't make sense.
Very true. I think maybe that's one of those times where if you were on PC and you're on a really good high hertz monitor,
Yeah,
it might help a lot.
like especially with like the color calibration set, right? Which is something I've never
I think
delved
that's just
into.
one of those times.
With every computer monitor I've ever owned, I have just always used the default
Standard.
settings.
Yeah, that's deep stuff. I don't really get into usually. Yeah.
Because my problem is I never know like what to judge it against because like I don't have a reference monitor that has like absolutely perfect colors to compare to. So I'd have to like dig in and learn, okay, how do people actually calibrate these things and like what do they use as their reference? Because I understand doing that from an audio perspective and from like, oh, okay, you have like when tuning an instrument, you have a tuning fork or something. You have
these standards,
a reference,
weights and measures of the same thing. Yeah, it's
is either perfect or near enough that you can use it
that's
as
a control,
as a
right?
reference. Yeah,
it's like
and I have no idea how to do that with color on a monitor. So,
interesting little fun fact: when you're testing CRTs for old game for playing old games, and playing them as well as possible, as smooth as possible, looking for pixel clarity, whatever, just like testing how crappy the CRT is. They say one of the best games to test it with is Yoshi's Island.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because one of the colors, the amount of colors that's in it, and the hard black outlines of everything make it very easy to tell when something is off or when there's dead pixels or stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was
cool.
interesting. And that is a very visually interesting game. So makes sense. Anyway, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something we're actually not going to go into in this episode, but we've been playing Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
We're going to tease it.
You playing Heart Gold, me playing Soul
Playing
Silver.
it a lot, yeah. I started first, which I mentioned on the previous episode, I think.
Yeah.
But you quickly surpassed me because I was playing other games also.
Yeah. I just beat the Elite Four, so now I'm like ready to do the post game content. So in the next episode,
I'm not even done with Johto. So.
I'll go over like my experience with the post game content in Soul Silver, and you'll go through like what you've been doing in Heart Gold.
Yeah, I'll try to just blow through it pretty soon. We probably won't record for at least a week, so I should be able to get through it. So, yeah, I've been busy with other stuff. So, playing games. I'm actually playing games though.
That's cool.
Which is nice.
I think in the last episode I mentioned I had been playing Mech Assault. I haven't actually picked it up since that last recording. So,
do you think you will, or do you think you're just kind of done?
Eventually? Yeah. But no, I haven't really been lately.
Not a focus. Yeah. Yeah, is Soul Silver basically everything you've been playing?
It's the only game I've really played in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I can't talk about it too much because you know nothing about it. It'd be a very one-sided conversation. But I've been playing a lot more Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
Just because I felt like it, and it's such an easy game to play, and I'm sort of renovating my island still, and I got like a new villager. I like switched someone out just for variety, and I love my new villager.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's a little squirrel. Her name's Poppy. She's like a red squirrel, and her house is like a fall forest.
Nice.
Like her wallpapers are like fall trees and stuff.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture.
Yeah, I posted on Twitter. Anyway, amazing. Love her. And then that's just been really fun to play again. But what I was doing at the same time, I actually ordered Animal Crossing New Leaf on the
okay.
3DS. So because I was just scrolling through Twitter, and I follow all these accounts mostly for Pokemon cards
Right.
that like alert when stuff's in stock or sales are happening on certain things or whatever. And they were like, "Hey, you can get Animal Crossing New Leaf used like new on GameStop.com for like $8.99."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I'm just gonna buy that. Like, I think. Well, I owned it when it first came out, but then I sold it. I didn't really get really into it. I think New Horizons is one of the only Animal Crossing games I like really devoted time to. So yeah, I was like, well, I'm getting that, even if I don't play it very much. And so when I got it, I was playing 2 Animal Crossing games consistently, like, because you kind of have to do daily stuff in that game to like keep your friendship up, clean up your island and whatever. And it was really cool. I got really lucky with villagers. I got great villagers immediately on the 3DS one, including Apollo, who was actually on my island in New Horizons also. So I'm like, oh, hey, I have 2 versions of this guy. So that was cool. I haven't played it in a couple days, but it is fun. It's harder,
Yeah.
which is weird to say about Animal Crossing,
Right.
because it's not really a hard or easy game. It's not really a game you beat anyway, but everything is more unforgiving, I should say.
Yeah.
Catching bugs is harder. Like your angle has to be like perfect with your bug net, or you're gonna
So
miss
I'd
it.
be even more irritated.
Yeah, you'd be
by
really
this
annoyed
game.
probably. There's less you can do every day. It's like in Animal Crossing New Horizons, you go to the clothing store, there's like a walk-in closet changing room. You go into, you have this huge catalog of stuff that you can buy that day, and that changes every day. In New Leaf, you go into the clothing store, there's 4 things sitting in the middle of the room. And those are the things you can choose from today.
Wow.
Like, that's it, bro.
Wow.
Same with like the regular shop, the Nooks Cranny, and this it's called like Nooks Stop or something. But yeah, that same thing. It's like, well, here's 2 like items like shovels and stuff, and here's 3 pieces of furniture, and that's your choices for today. It's like, wow, okay, interesting. This is very different. So stuff like that, I thought was interesting. But yeah,
Cool.
that's what I've been doing with that. I don't know how long I'll play New Leaf, because obviously I do like New Horizons better, but I don't know. We'll see. But it was fun. Yeah.
Anything else going on?
Oh, what else am I playing? I'm still playing Skyward Sword.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I took a break from it just to play Animal Crossing, I guess. I wasn't doing really anything else, but I finally beat the annoying part of the game. Did you ever play Skyward Sword?
No.
You didn't play it at all, right?
Nope.
So, the great game.
I watched
talked
you
about
play
it last
some,
time.
So
Yeah. I don't know if you remember the desert area at all.
not
It's
really.
the whole Lanayru area, which typically Lanayru is sometimes like a rainforest area, sometimes it's a desert, sometimes whatever. Depends on which Zelda game. But that is definitely the new. It's called like the Lanayru mining facility. That is a drudge of a dungeon.
Okay.
That is not fun in any way, in my opinion. Like, some of the concepts are fine, and you get the like wind gust bellows thing, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
It's like an item that just shoots wind. That's kind of fun. I don't know if you remember like the gust jar from any Zelda game. It's not a very common one.
Okay.
It's like there's like the main items you get, like your bow or your boomerang or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, some games have like a wind thing, and in this one, it's like this big vase that shoots wind, basically.
Okay.
Very strange. Whatever, but it's kind of a cool item.
It's like a ghost vacuum, but it blows.
Yeah, but it blows only. But in general, it's trudging through wet sand, literally, to get through it. So I beat that part, and I was very happy because everything after that is a lot more fun, in my opinion. So I just got I'm now in like the the Pharaoh's Dragons underwater dungeon right now, which is
Okay.
way cooler. Super cool. You can dive. There's dragons and stuff like that. So anyway, that's really fun. There's great side quests in that game. I don't know if you know this side quest. I'm going to tell you all about it
Okay.
because it's awesome. There's this dude. His name's like Sledge or something. He's like the lackey of Groose. I don't know if you remember Groose at all. He's like the big, gross guy who loves Zelda, and he's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
bully, basically. Yeah, he's got like the red mohawk thing.
Yeah.
So like one of his lackeys basically starts a side quest. He has a love letter
Okay.
that he's written, and he wants you to give it to a girl at the school, at like the academy, because he's way too nervous to do it or whatever. And he's like, and Link goes, oh, interesting, a piece of paper, because the night before, if you do this quest correctly, you go into like near the bathroom, and there's this woman crying. And you open the door, there's no one there.
Ooh,
It's a
spooky.
ghost woman in the toilet. And you talk to the toilet.
Oh, it's Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah, basically. And like a hand comes out, and she's like, "Can you like give me paper, please? I need paper." You're like, oh, "Okay, you got it, ghost lady." And so this next day, he wants to hand you this letter, and you're like, "Perfect, a piece of paper for the ghost lady." And he's like, "Don't you dare give this to some weirdo in the bathroom.
So
like,
of course you're gonna do
Don't
it.
even think about it. Why would you do that to me? Like, don't do this, please." It's like, but this guy's a bully, whatever. So obviously you're gonna give it to the. I don't even know if you can give it to the girl instead of the toilet person. So obviously you sleep, you come back at night, you hand it to the ghost lady. She's very, very thankful. She's like, "Oh, thank you." Or I think she even goes, "This looks like somebody's letter. Are you sure you want to give this to me?" You're like, "Of course, yeah, it's no problem." So you come back, you tell him, "Oh yeah, I gave it to the weirdo in the bathroom." He freaks out and is like crying and runs into his room. You feel a little bad, right? He is a human. You walk in there, he's sitting on the bed, and he's like, "Whatever, leave me alone, shut up." And so you leave. If you go back, you don't even have to do this, but it sort of ends the quest and gives you a little item at the end. You hear a noise coming from his room at night. And if you go inside, he's like sleeping, but he's like curled up in a ball and he's shivering. And there's just a hand like caressing his head.
Oh. Huh.
And you talk to him, and she's like, and the ghost hand is like, "I read the letter, and it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever heard." So literally, the ghost hand falls in love with him,
Oh, wow.
but he hates it because he's just like having nightmares as this ghost hand caresses him, and that's the end of the quest.
Wow. Okay.
He has a ghost girlfriend forever, but you get gratitude crystals out of it, so it was worth it.
Well, there you go.
So anyway, that was fun. So that's what I was doing. That's a good one. Again, some of my favorite side quests in any Zelda game is Skyward Sword, definitely.
No.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Cool. All right. Any news? Any game news that you have?
Oh, great question. Well, today, as we're recording this, which is August 11th, to date this, the Indie World just aired for Nintendo, where they
Okay.
show a bunch of indie games and stuff. And nothing I care about was mentioned.
Well, there you go.
Like, there's some things like some Metal Slug game, and like, I know Slime Rancher, which people like that game a lot. Never played it. I think there's a new Shovel Knight thing,
Okay.
which is kind of interesting because I know Shovel Knight's a great platformer. So I might look into that. But other than that, nothing big I really cared about. I saw a great tweet that was like, "Oh man, they're going to announce all these indie games. I can't wait to hear about the new Banjo-Kazooie and the new Smash character and Breath of the Wild 2's release date, and Bayonetta 3, and just like listed every single thing you could possibly want, because that is exactly how Nintendo fans think, and they just expect everything all the time
Yeah.
and get nothing. You
will get nothing and be happy.
Yeah, exactly. The only other thing was some Pokemon worker interview where they said they have a lot of exciting things to show for Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Mm-hmm.
That development is going smoothly, and they have a lot to show, and are very excited, basically. Cool. Which is cool. I mean, that I can't wait for that. That's the open world one, basically. And people gave that game a lot of crap from the early footage just because it looks bad. But it's like, yeah, it's coming out in 2 years. Like,
right, yeah.
Of course it's going to look bad. People mentioned that the frame rates of like Pokemon in the wild were like 10 FPS, which they're not wrong. But obviously that's not final footage, and people need to chill. And just to prove that, they showed like new footage for the Diamond and Pearl remakes, and they look 10 times better than they did in the initial footage. Like, you can really tell the difference, which is really cool. So I'm really excited about that too.
Cool.
So good stuff's coming, but it's just months away still, The only other big thing is the Pokemon card game new set is coming out this month. The pre-release stuff is coming out this Saturday, which I am going to get because I'm really excited. That's the Evolving Skies set, and it has cards for every evolution, like a lot of cards for every evolution.
Yeah.
A few of them they're saving for a future set or as promos and stuff, but there's still a lot coming out. And I'm going to show you, I want to show you some of these alt arts for these cards because they are awesome. Like, I'm even going to look one up as I'm talking. Unfortunately, there's a really good Flareon one that they're saving that isn't coming out with the main set. But I'm going to show you the Espeon V alt art.
Okay.
Because it is just beautiful. He's like moving a bunch of stuff around with his mind. I might add this into the video portion of the YouTube, or we'll just post a picture on Twitter. But look at how beautiful that is.
Oh, that's cool.
How cool is that,
I like
right?
that.
So
yeah.
there's a whole set of alternate arts that are coming out that they've started to do in the more recent sets, where they're full art.
Has that kind of hand-drawn look to it, this one.
And they've been adding all these very interesting Pokemon styles. I love this one. This alt art Sylveon. She's like robbing a bakery, but it is just so cute and just looks so fun, so fun and cute. So I'm just super excited for this set. It is going to be stupidly beautiful. I've pre-ordered more for this set than ever than I ever have for Pokemon, I'm pretty excited about. There's also VMAX ones. So this is Espeon sleeping on a house.
Nice.
Because he's Gigantamax, so he's massive. Anyway, super cute also. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. People are very anticipating this one just because it's evolutions. I mean, everyone loves evolutions, right? So yeah.
In more dramatic news, I'm not gonna go into this a lot because I kind of don't care. But there's big drama going on at Blizzard.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh!
And the only reason I know about it is all over my Facebook feed. Just constantly.
It's all over Twitter too.
So
we won't mention it. Obviously, we denounce all that crap. It's disgusting behavior.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
We don't even have to comment really on it. Everyone should agree on that. So whatever.
Yeah.
But.
And as usual, some people did terrible things. They're probably not going to get what they deserve because they're rich. Whatever.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Blizzard is unfortunate, and I'm a little sad because Blizzard used to be really cool, but frankly, they haven't been for a long time. So
yeah. It used to seem like a really cool company, like made by nerds for nerds. Is what it seemed like. It's just like, but it happens. It just happens.
I remember in the Warcraft 3 days, that was I feel like the highlight of Blizzard's time, and then like very early World of Warcraft.
The vanilla days of WoW were the highlights, definitely. It's just one of those things. It sucks, and I'm not surprised. Unfortunately, you can't really be that surprised.
Yeah, and
It's too
unfortunately,
common.
a
It's
lot
too
of that.
common.
There's a lot of that in the game industry. It's a little upsetting.
Especially towards women, like it sucks. Yeah, icky. But that's luckily in these last few years. Also, there's more hype for indie development than ever in the history of gaming, which I think is very cool.
Yeah.
So, there's highlights. Every industry has its ups and downs and dark sides or whatever. But yeah. Interesting. I was gonna mention something. What was I gonna talk? Talk amongst yourselves. I'm Jewish. I can talk like that.
So,
I can do it. Yeah. What's up? What do you got?
well, so
What do you got
okay,
for me, Coach Z?
it's been a while since we've done a deep dive, and I really wanted to try and do
Am I
one
prepared
this
for this?
episode. You're probably not, but I'm going to spring it on you so you can't back out.
Oh no! Don't say what I think you're gonna say.
Well, there are one of two games
Okay.
that I was going to mention.
Okay.
Both of them are series of games that have at least two titles
Ooh.
that we
At
would
least two titles.
yes, that we would talk about.
Okay.
One of them is for GameCube, one of them is for PlayStation primarily.
Whoa. I mean, that one's been on Game Boy Advance and 3DS.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So okay, you know
What's
that
the
one.
first one? What's the GameCube one?
Okay, think of a GameCube game where there are at least two titles
There's so many.
that we have enough to talk about to warrant a deep dive. As a beloved character
They're all beloved. Everyone's beloved.
for much longer than the lifetime of the GameCube.
Oh, so not Pikmin.
What would I have to say about Pikmin? I've never even
You
played
love
it.
Pikmin. GameCube games. PSL.
Same company. Sonic.
Sonic. Have we not talked about Sonic Adventure?
No.
What?
We certainly
Are you
haven't done
serious?
a deep dive yet. No.
Well, we're doing it right now.
All right. Good, because we're overdue for that.
Because I'm not ready to talk about Kingdom Hearts. So
Okay.
This isn't. We need to. If we're doing a Kingdom Hearts episode, we have to start from the beginning, not half an hour in. So
Okay.
Okay. Sonic Adventure in particular, or what?
Both Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2.
Okay. Because the other Sonic games that we haven't played nearly as much. So
Yeah, so, we might briefly mention Sonic Heroes and stuff, but
Yeah.
frankly, we didn't play them a whole lot.
we'll start by saying we were Nintendo kids growing up. We did not own a Sega of any kind.
We've never owned any Sega.
I don't think
between
I've
the two of
ever
us.
owned a Sega
Yeah.
console.
So
The first time I played Sonic the Hedgehog for Sega Genesis was like way after I played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. So
Yeah.
we were Sonic Adventure people.
Yeah. So the very first Sonic game I ever played,
Yeah.
except it's quite possible I played one of the old Sonic games on Genesis at a friend's house for like 10
Right.
minutes.
Very possible.
It's possible that happened first. But the first one that I know for sure that I actually played was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for the GameCube.
For the GameCube.
The GameCube port of Sonic Adventure
So
2. from
was Adventure 2
Dreamcast.
the first one we played?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
I was pretty young when we first did this, so that the initial memories are hazy for sure, but
And so this was my first exposure to Sonic, which of course it's very different from the first.
yeah, for sure. It's definitely
From the 2D Sonic
it's the
games.
modern Sonic
Yeah.
instead of old school Sonic. Yeah.
This was a fun game that I spent many hours playing.
So many.
It was definitely a challenging game, but of course it's a platformer, I guess technically speaking.
Yeah, for sure. 3D platformer.
Lots of jumps, lots of timed jumps, lots of. But eventually,
What was the hard? I feel like the hard parts were like the bosses, though, especially like the last boss.
yeah. Oh yeah. There were a lot of stages where I reached a point where it was pretty difficult, but I remember unlocking the like middle story. If you beat both the hero and dark
Yeah.
stories, you unlock that.
Last or
yeah.
whatever. I think it's just called Last.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
Where the Dark and Heroes kind of join forces.
yeah. And it took a while for me to get there, and then we reached the bio lizard, which I remember I
What an
went and
awful
got
boss.
50 lives, and I lost all of them,
Yes. I actually remember this happening.
which I felt so defeated.
Yep.
Just like,
It's the worst feeling as a kid, you know.
and so this was still pre-YouTube, so I couldn't just go look up how to be. I couldn't watch a video of somebody
the
beating him.
optimal path or whatever.
I could probably have gone on game FAQs and just read like strategies, but I didn't.
But it's one of those things where it was half the boss is hard and half the mechanics don't work perfectly.
Right.
So you just fall through the thing sometimes.
Yeah, it's one of those games where it's a little glitchy.
Adventure 1 and 2 are notoriously glitchy, especially Adventure 1. But yeah.
And so between me, you, and Alla, our friend Alla, we finally eventually figured out how to get past stage 1 of the boss.
Now, stage 1 is the hardest stage.
Yeah.
It is harder than stage 2.
And just getting to the point where all the like red balls float up to the top and you have to hit them. Figuring out how to get there. And that once we got past that point, it took a lot less tries to get past it. And then you unlock the final hazard fight, and it's got the Live and
Sick.
Learn song. It's got Supersonic
And not super hard.
It's
Yeah.
Super Shadow, like
So hype.
that.
Yeah. It is the hype.
And that only took,
final
I think,
boss.
that only took me 2 tries.
Yeah,
to beat
that one's not nearly as hard.
But yeah,
That one's more cinematic.
it was
but
so hype.
So cool. Yeah, in general, that is the better of the 2 games, pretty objectively. But great stages. The first stage, City Escape, is notorious and amazing song. Like Escape from the City is still a great song. That is something really cool. Is this sort of, I don't know, got me into rock as a kid? Like sort of exposure to, that type of music and stuff. Because I loved all of the Sonic music.
Yeah.
When I was, a kid and like a preteen and stuff.
Yeah, I can say kind of the same. And like, I was older than you, but I still. So I kind of didn't
really listen
care
to
about
music,
for the most part in my childhood. I just kind of listened to whatever my sister listened to, and even then, I didn't like everything she listened to. So,
yeah, some kids are really into music like that, and we just neither of us were as much.
It's funny because I really am now, but I wasn't
now we're
for
really
a
into
long
music.
time.
Yeah.
So,
That was sort of exposure to that type of alternative rock and stuff, and that sort of started my more emo phase and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's like the same time I got into the band Skillet and a few other
great like Christian emo band, basically.
Yeah, like Cutlass and Pillar and High Flight Society,
sort of Flyleaf and stuff too.
Yeah, Flyleaf and bands like that.
A lot of stuff like that. Reliant K, whatever.
Because of all of them, alternative rock was like a natural progression for me.
Guitar is cool. Yeah.
And then, of course, as I've mentioned about Guitar Hero, that launched me into
big
hard rock and metal.
Big branching out
and that was,
into music.
That was only a few years later after all this.
This was a similar time frame for sure. It was just sort of both. You were an older teen, I was a younger teen, but we were into the same stuff, basically. So that's sort of why I like older stuff, is I was just into what you were into. So even though we're 7 years apart, I got into that stuff way younger. Than a lot of people did.
Yeah. And so that leads us into the Chow Garden.
Yeah. So like levels are great in that game, and it is a good game with that alone.
Yeah.
There is an entire second game in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle that like sort of Animal Crossing-ish.
Yeah.
You could spend forever in the Chow Garden.
And just like having had a Tamagotchi, having raised Pokemon, having so like this was just a natural.
It's the classic thing of raising cute little fake animals. Yeah, and Chow. If you don't know what they are, just Google that. They're the cutest things ever.
And once
Chow are
I
insanely
once
cute.
I learned about Chaos Chow, I said, okay,
The
I
grind-
have to
the
figure out how to
grind
do this.
started.
Oh, man. I would go on. We called them missions.
Yes, we did call them missions.
And you would pick a Tails or Eggman level.
The Tails level was the best. So
and you would just blow up robots and collect those little like capsules.
yeah,
those
so like
different colored capsules.
in the game, basically every enemy when you killed it would drop a crystal, a certain a random colored crystal in like this little vial that you would pick up, and you could hold like what 10-ish.
Yeah, something like that.
And then if you grabbed another one, the last one would drop off.
Yeah.
So you wanted to be a little careful which ones you grabbed if you were going for specific, because every color mattered.
Right.
Turns out.
Because each one affected a different stat.
Yeah.
On a
So like if you
Chow.
didn't really know that or play with Chow very much, you would just think whatever. These are just colored crystals, but every color was different. The little animals were different. They all did different stuff. So very interesting.
And then I realized that Chow fruit raised each stat
Yeah.
evenly.
Where do you get Chow fruit, Brian?
At this little shop
Yeah.
in the Chow Garden. And there was an exploit where you could basically generate
cheat.
infinite money.
Yep, there was an infinite money cheat that we got very good at.
Yeah.
Not really a cheat; it's just sort of an exploit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And basically, I think
Sort
it
of a
was
reset
you essentially
glitch.
sell the same item over and
Yeah.
over again, and it was a really
there
expensive
were
item.
specific items that just sold for a lot, and that's
Yeah.
all they did. So it was the perfect opportunity to do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was actually the black market, which is what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like this little closet.
It's been so long that I barely even remember what it looks like.
Yeah, so it's like this little closet in the daycare, in like
Yeah.
the kindergarten, the Chow kindergarten.
Oh, and then you can listen to the Chow sing, and
So it's this
So
whole little,
cute.
it's this whole school basically. There's like a doctor's office where your Chow can get checked up on, which was never really necessary.
Right.
I think it could check certain stats though, so it was helpful in some ways,
yeah.
something like that. But there was a kindergarten, and you could drop your Chow off there, and they would level up a little bit, but mostly they would learn things,
Yeah,
which was really
like how to
fun.
play
They'd
different
learn how to play. They'd learn
or-
how to draw.
Yeah.
And they would just like draw on the ground then, and it was so cute.
Uh-huh.
You'd just be walking around, and all of a sudden you see this drawing on the floor. You're like, "Hey, my Chow drew this." Like it's really cool what the passive things they put into the game
Yeah.
to make the Chow more interesting, basically. That weren't just the base stats and stuff. But anyway, very
It's
fun
like
stuff.
it's kind of like owning cats.
Yeah, very fun stuff. Just talking about it makes me want to like do it again
Yeah,
a little
right.
bit. But so there was the main garden. Let's talk about the main garden.
Yeah, so when you first get it, there's only the one garden, but eventually, as soon as you get a hero Chow,
Yeah.
which is, I think you just have to level up with it has to have, there's kind of an alignment that they have
There is
between
a
good
alignment.
and dark.
There's a good and bad alignment for Chow, yeah.
And if you're nice to a Chow with a hero character, they
Yeah.
become more
So like Sonic, Tails, or
closer to like
Knuckles.
the light side, and
Yep.
if they
They actually sort of change appearance.
yeah.
And they have a little ball above their head, and that can change color
Yep.
as well when their alignment
And it
starts to
becomes a
change.
halo when they're a hero Chow.
Yep.
And and they sort of like evolve
They
basically.
eventually evolve, and that is decided over real game, like real life time
Yeah.
spent in the garden. Mm-hmm. That's why we spent many hours in here, is that
I would
real life
sometimes
time actually matters.
Leave the GameCube on overnight with a fan
Yes, we
next
did.
to it.
Pretty often we would do
Yeah.
that. It's amazed that GameCube didn't crap out, but that's just
Yeah.
Nintendo for you, I guess. But
And so once you get your first hero Chow, you unlock
Yeah.
the hero Chow garden, and then
Which was
once
very
you get your
cool.
first dark Chow, you unlock the dark Chow garden. Now,
Yes.
at first, we didn't realize that all you had to do to get a dark Chow was be nice to a Chow with a dark character.
I know.
And so we would just
We'd be
abuse
mean
Chow.
to them. Ugh. Which worked.
It worked, but you
They
felt
also made
terrible.
them, and they also made them not like you as much.
Yeah.
Which they do
And
sometimes. Yeah.
sometimes if a Chow is like really unhappy and it evolves, it'll just die.
It can die.
And
So that's different, right?
Yeah.
So there's one evolution. There's baby Chow,
Right.
and then there's adult Chow. And then adult lasts a long time,
Mm-hmm.
a fair amount of time, and then the final stage happens.
Yeah.
And if you were nice to it, they are reborn as an egg.
Yep.
If you're mean to it, they just disappear.
Yep.
They pass on, which is horrifying to think about.
Yeah.
I hate thinking
You can
about
also
that.
release them the way you do Pokemon.
Yeah, you can.
Where they just
You can actually you can trade them too, which is really cool. You can
Oh,
trade
yeah.
them over,
Oh yeah, and
but
there was
only over like I think it was like a Game Boy Advance.
and you
app,
needed
the cable and
connector
stuff.
that connected your Game Boy Advance.
But
to
you
the
could
Game.
transfer them from memory cards.
Yeah.
So we did that sometimes.
You could also
but-
and you could play on like Sonic Advance or whichever
yeah.
game it
So
was.
Sonic
that-
Advance, I think it was I think it was like either the first game or like Sonic Advance 3. One
Yeah.
of the two, I think. Yeah, you could actually play with your Chow on
Mm-hmm.
multiple things. But anyway, that's a whole thing.
So I had a Hero Chaos Chow, and
Yeah.
I
Well,
leveled.
we should explain what a Chaos Chow is.
Oh yeah, okay. So
Do you remember how
Chaos-
to get a Chaos Chow?
Yeah, so
Mostly. I believe it was twice. You had to do it.
yeah,
And I think on
yeah.
the
Instead
third
of being
resurrection-
reborn, they become a Chaos
So,
Chow. So that was
Obviously, after the rebirth, the like basically like a phoenix,
Mm.
your Chow goes back into an egg, and then when it hatches out of the egg, it keeps its name, it keeps a lot of its stats. I
Mm-hmm.
think its stats are just as high, but it's a baby again. And then if you say if it was a hero before, if you make it a hero again, right? So it becomes
Yeah.
an adult, then it gets reborn again, then it's a baby, then you make it a hero again.
I forget.
And I think after the third
There's
time,
some like clearly defined steps that you have to follow
Yeah.
to make this happen, but
I think
yeah.
on the third resurrection, when it's reborn, it's not reborn as an egg; it's reborn as a Chaos Chow.
yeah, and they have their eyes are solid.
And I think heroes are like solid blue or something.
Yeah, solid blue eyes,
Yeah.
or yeah, and then
they're like-
neutral
they're like
chaos has
pink.
solid like green eyes.
They're
and
like
then,
pink, and they have nice like
Yeah,
horn
like pink and white.
things almost, but like cute little like curly ram ones. Anyway, they're beautiful. They're
Mm-hmm.
very unique looking. And once they become Chaos Chow, they're that forever.
Yeah.
They never die. They never get reborn.
They are immortal.
They are just immortal. They have ascended, literally. They're
Yeah.
like angel Chow at this point.
So
Super cool.
yeah, so
And so
I
there's
was-
hero, neutral, and dark versions of Chaos
Yeah.
Chow.
I think I was the
super
first
cool.
among us to get a
You were.
chaos, and
Yes.
I got a hero
Your main
chaos
hero.
chow,
Yeah.
and I got him to max all maxed out
stats,
stats, and then I
which
had him go
takes
through.
so
Oh yeah, this took forever. But I
get
had him do all
max
the
stats.
races and all the fighting and all the other chow activities.
So yeah,
and
there's little mini games.
beat them all.
There are little mini games like races and karate matches that they can do, and they go up against just computer players.
Yeah.
Or you can have two of yours go in together or whatever, and like go against each other. But yeah, with max stats, yours just destroyed everything all the time. So what are the stats again? I know there's stamina.
Yeah, I think it's
power.
pretty similar, pretty standard RPG stats. So
Yeah,
it's
but I
like-
think isn't like flying its own stat?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and there's like speed, stuff like that.
And
Yeah.
like dexterity or
Something
speed
like
or
that.
whatever,
Yeah.
strength.
I think there's like 5 stats.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So certain fruits on the island, like regular fruits, would just raise your stamina.
Talking about this makes me realize just how long it's been.
I know.
It's been a long time.
But it's all coming back to me. I'm like, yeah, I remember all this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I think you only had ever the one Chaos Chow though.
For a long
ever make
time, I
another one?
only had one. I feel like I had a dark chaos that I lost
Interesting.
because you had a dark chaos.
I have,
right?
yeah. So mine
Yeah.
was my first one was a Dark Chaos. I'm sure I still have him on a. No, I lost him. That's the whole thing. Okay.
Oh, you're
I
the one who
him.
lost the dark chaos. Yeah, I don't think
He
I
was
ever
my
actually
baby.
got one. Yeah,
He was my baby. I lost my memory card at like a mall or something,
yeah.
and that was devastating.
Which that's happened to you at least twice.
Yeah,
that
I've
you've
lost-
lost
I
a
lost things as
Nintendo
kids.
object at a mall.
I liked having them with me because they mattered to me,
Uh-huh.
and then I would lose them, which made it even worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't do that anymore. But I got them back eventually because I remember eventually I got all 3 just
Yeah.
because I wanted to be.
I think I had a hero and a
completionist
neutral.
about it. So.
I eventually got a neutral. That one was hard
Neutrals
to
are
get
cool. Yeah.
because
I think you accidentally got a different one or
Yeah.
something. Like you were
because
going for
they
neutral.
have to be like balanced.
Yeah.
For
So it's hard to be
good
really
and bad.
kind to a Chow and have it be balanced,
Yeah.
still in the middle alignment. So yeah, it's definitely the hardest to get, for sure. I loved the dark Chow garden, the dark garden,
Yeah,
because it was just like the water was blood red, and there were like pumpkins. It was just like Halloween all the time.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, he's cute little Chow in this evil hellscape. It's just awesome. Anyway, that was insanely fun.
Yeah.
And it's good memories all around, definitely.
Yeah. And then, so we liked Sonic Adventure 2 Battle so much that we saw that there was...
We gotta play the first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
And
they did remake it
probably
also.
rented it at Blockbuster a few times before we bought it.
And I think we've owned it multiple times. Like, got rid of it, got it back, and all that. I still have a copy that I think is very, like, one of our original ones. So, yeah.
And,
actually, I have 2 copies of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. One is a backup. I was at a GameStop one time. This was just a few years ago. And I saw it randomly, and it was like $10. I'm like, I'm just gonna buy this just to have it as a backup.
Well, there you go.
Like, just cause, you know.
There's some games I probably could use a backup
Right.
for just in case,
I'm like, this game matters.
Yeah.
I should have a backup of this just in case.
And yeah, so in the first one, for anybody who's played it, you'll know this obviously, but you play as each character has their own like story mode that you play through.
Yeah. Yep. So like at the main character select screen,
yeah,
you just go through every character
and you've got
story.
Sonic, who is the first one, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
And then Tails and Knuckles.
Amy, full playable character, which is kind of cool. You didn't really
Big
get to
the
do that
Cat
much.
and
Well,
Gamma.
Freaking Big the Cat, dude.
Yeah. So,
Notorious. Big the Cat.
most of them are not that hard.
No. I mean, it is a very glitchy game.
Yeah.
Pretty icky.
The later levels of Sonic are a little difficult.
Pretty rough.
Just there's some tricky jumps and such.
Because it does not feel great.
In each of the stories, you're having to fight off Chaos.
Yes.
Who is attempting to collect all the
Pretty
Chaos
cool villain.
Emeralds
I like
and
Chaos.
become perfect Chaos.
Yeah, I like Chaos.
Because he's basically Cell.
Yeah, pretty much. So every time he gets a Chaos Emerald, he mutates a little bit and changes form. And so you fight him at various forms, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But like, oh, Chaos 3, he's this way. And
I really like,
whatever.
I think it was 1 or 2 emeralds where he has the one big arm,
Yeah.
but the other one's
I think that's just
normal
one.
size. Yeah.
Which he only has in like one cutscene.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you ever fight him. I think you only ever fight Chaos 2.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
That sounds right. Yeah.
But yeah. My favorite part of that game is the hub world.
Yeah.
I like games that have like they have levels, but they also have like an explorable hub world. I always really liked that. And it has a good one, I think.
Yeah, because you've got Station Square and then
The city kind of one.
yeah, and then the like countryside where like Tails' base is.
Yeah,
and,
like there's like the main like foresty area, right, with like the waterfall and stuff. But then there's also the deep jungle area, which is more like a maze. But yeah,
and
those were fun. I liked that part of it.
And it's so funny. The voice acting is so horrible in both these games.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think partially just because they were trying to fit the outrageous lip flaps.
Yeah,
that the characters have.
That's the Chaos Emerald.
It's very awkward. Yeah, but
the
very
pacing is
very
part of,
iconic
is a big part
and
of
quotable
what's,
because it's so bad. Like, yeah.
Knuckles saying "Oh no" for 10
Oh, no.
hours. Oh no.
Yeah. It's got so many just like classic Sonic tropes and memes now that people still quote nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
And Sonic Adventure has the only song that rivals Live and Learn.
Open Your Heart.
Open Your Heart.
So sick.
So hype.
Still a great song.
Yeah. So
2 great intro songs.
Big the Cat.
Yeah, he's cool.
This is I already kind of hate fishing in games, period.
Yeah, yep.
In any form. And this is like the worst possible version of that.
It's the worst ever.
Uh-huh.
It's maybe the worst thing in a game that I like.
Yeah.
Like, because I like Sonic Adventure.
Right.
I will absolutely say I like that game. I like a lot about it. And I despise Big the Cat's story so much.
To the point where it's like, I'm not sure I want to try to beat this
the game
because I don't want to play through
Yeah,
Big's
I'm going to do
story.
every other person's story. Not going to do the final Supersonic story because I don't care. Because I just don't want to play through Big the Cat's thing. It's not worth it.
That's how bad it is.
That's how bad it is.
Because like Amy's is also really annoying, but it's nowhere near as bad.
But not undoable. You know,
Yeah.
it's, whatever.
Because you're spending your whole time running from this robot.
Yeah.
And
But
just
at least you
trying
have a
to
big mallet.
survive. But yeah.
That helps. You can. I hate it's like it's one thing when you cannot affect the thing chasing you at all. At least as Amy, you can hit him and like stun him for a second.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of games where you're just running from something that you can't hurt really or you can't kill, you have to just hide because you're just gonna die or whatever.
Yeah.
But at this, at least you can affect him a little bit, and that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Get a load of this.
Get a load of this. It's got so many good lines.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I think Tails is really fun. His flying is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
His flying isn't like too wonky out of all the wonky things in the game.
Yeah.
It works okay. The best part is Omega, right? The robot.
Yeah, Gamma.
Gamma, that's right.
Omega is in Sonic Heroes, I think.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But yeah, Gamma's story is awesome. Like there's memes about that. How it's just like really deep.
He has the most emotional story, and he's
super
a robot.
emotional.
Yeah.
Like basically has to kill his family.
Yeah.
Of other robots who have been horribly, grotesquely experimented on by Eggman. Like it really shows that Eggman's a freak and really evil. Like, anyway, because these robots basically have feelings. But he's also very fun to play as. I like his shooting. I love when you go really fast and you turn into like a cart.
Yeah.
And you like roll around. I love that.
Yeah. And that was kind of the precursor to Tails and Eggman's robot suits that they have in Sonic Adventure
Which
2.
are pretty fun as well.
And
Yep.
And,
in general, it's easier, I would say.
Yeah.
Besides Big and some of the weird parts, but
Yeah. Other than a couple of like just like parts of levels that are really tedious. Some of the temple with Sonic is a little
that can
difficult.
be tough. Yeah, but like actual platforming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, the final fight with Chaos is possibly
It's epic.
is probably more hype even than the
it's
final
epic.
fight with the Final Hazard in Sonic Adventure.
And you do
2.
get
It's just
you do get the cool supersonic thing.
Yeah.
He's the size of a city, and he looks like Biollante from Godzilla.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Yeah.
And
It's
you
very
just
cool.
got Open Your Heart playing.
Got
and
Open Your
it's
Heart
just-
playing.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is very cool. It's modern Sonic done very well, in my opinion, both of these games. I think later on they tried too hard or something. They just couldn't capture the magic again.
Yeah.
I don't really know why.
Sonic Heroes was just not.
It's fine,
It just didn't.
but it's pretty rough. At least the GameCube version is the best version. But like the PS2 version is atrocious. The PS2 and Xbox version are even buggier than the GameCube version. And it's just
Yeah, it's like
not as fun. It's just not
like
as fun.
it somehow lost most all of the charm.
Yeah.
Because like the graphics are better. Obviously, it's way less buggy than Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. It has some cool character designs.
I like that they
yet it
brought
totally
back
fell flat.
chaotics and stuff, but yeah, it's just not great.
I don't know why exactly
not.
even.
Good intro again though.
Yeah,
Sonic Heroes is a good song.
I think part of my problem was actually that the game was a little too linear.
Very. Well, at least especially as like the hero team.
Yeah.
Like Sonic's team.
And like that
The
actually was
Chaotix
more,
team is not linear at
Yeah.
all. That's crazy.
but that actually it made it feel even more like the older games, which
Yeah.
should have been a good thing.
Yeah.
But it just didn't work as well for
It's
this.
just very
like,
blah
yeah.
to me. Yeah. It's like I don't like it. Like I don't want to play it. Like
Yeah.
when I see Sonic Adventure 2, I want to play it and it looks
Yeah.
fun. Sonic Heroes, I don't want to play.
And so Shadow the Hedgehog already felt like a fan fiction character.
That's just a whole different thing.
And then
Sonic Shadow the
we
Hedgehog.
had the Shadow the Hedgehog
Crazy.
game, which was
It's crazy.
just itself a bad fan
I
fiction.
can't. I don't know how it's real.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how they were like, give him a gun, but it's real.
Yeah.
And
It's
a
like-
motorcycle. And
It's like if you read this
Yeah.
written by a 13-year-old on fanfiction.net, you'd have been like, yep,
this is-
understandable.
yeah, it's cringy.
You're a
and
13-year-old,
horrible,
you're doing your thing. I get it.
But
I
no,
was
it's
there
a
once.
real
But no,
Sonic game.
Team made this into an actual game that people actually bought and played.
that looks and plays better than Sonic Heroes.
Yeah.
And I'd much rather play Shadow the Hedgehog than Sonic Heroes.
Just sad.
At least it has branching paths and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of branching paths.
And then like
It's wild.
they kept going with the weapons thing. Like
Yeah.
let's give Sonic a sword and
Yep.
let's make him
just
a
keep
werehog.
going. Let's
like
make him a werehog.
they just
Yeah. I mean, so Sonic 06, horrible, atrocious, whatever.
yeah.
Sonic's and the Secret Rings, terrible, horrible gameplay. Story's great, whatever. Sonic and the Black Knight, I feel like is one of the best
Yeah.
gameplay wise.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just fun-ish to play. Still not great.
I never actually played it.
Sonic
so,
Unleashed is horrible.
yeah.
Some people like Sonic Unleashed. I don't like the level design. I don't like playing as the werehog.
Yeah.
I just don't know why it exists.
I think Sonic Heroes
it's
was actually the
crazy.
last Sonic game I played.
That's
so
possible.
I
really
played
tried
most of the
to
ones I'm
continue.
talking about, but
Sonic Colors is the best of the modern Sonics after that.
yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah. So
Like,
Sonic
people saying that
Colors
it was good.
and Sonic Generations, which was like a sort of a remake
Yeah.
type of thing, is pretty fun.
I think I actually did play that one.
They're
a little
putting
bit.
out like a Ultimate Edition of Sonic Colors for the Switch actually pretty soon.
Oh, cool.
I might actually get that and play it again because it's not bad. It's not terrible. But yeah, it's just I have not played a great Sonic game since then.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. I never played Sonic Forces, the newest one, but it just looked awful to me. So
Yeah.
I had no interest in playing it basically. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
They're coming out with a new one soon. They've put out a teaser for it and stuff. But you know what? What I really want to play that I never did, I've heard really, very mixed things, but I love the sound of it. There's a Sonic RPG that came out for DS.
Okay.
It's called Sonic Chronicles, and the Dark Brotherhood or something is what it's called.
Huh.
And I think it's made by like Square or something.
Okay.
It's made by
Interesting.
I don't know if it's Square, but it's an RPG company, I'm pretty sure. And it is just straight up an RPG. And I'm very interested to try it, but I've heard really mixed things about it. Some people hate it, some people liked it. I don't know, but I'm very curious about it. So I'm going to look into that and maybe talk about it at another time, but because I don't think it's very expensive, so I might just buy it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, modern Sonic's hit and miss.
Yeah.
But Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2 will be in our hearts forever, literally. That is a very nostalgic and important game to us growing up.
Yeah. Also, Sonic Riders.
Oh, I loved Sonic Riders, especially the first one.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed Sonic Riders. It was really fun. Yep. I haven't played Sonic All-Stars Transformed or Sonic Team Sonic Racing, I think is what it's called. There's a bunch of new Sonic racing games that are apparently pretty good. So, I don't know. But I feel like I have Mario Kart. Why would I play any other racing game?
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of Sonic Team, there's a remake and remaster collection of all the Super Monkey Ball games
Oh, yeah.
coming out. I'm very excited, and I will absolutely get that
Nice.
and talk about that because I love the first two Super Monkey Ball games. So very excited about that. And Sonic and Tails are in it as playable characters. So pretty cool. Does that about do it? Do you have anything else to touch on for Sonic?
I don't think so. No. I think that covers it.
Well, it certainly defined a lot of our GameCube Nintendo playing.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I always sort of thought as Sonic as a Nintendo character because of that.
Yeah.
We really only played it on the GameCube. So
Yeah.
it just seemed like a Nintendo thing to me. Obviously, I knew it was Sega, but we thought it was so cool. So it's made by Sonic Team, right?
Right.
And we've talked about many times, we've talked about Phantasy Star Online,
Yeah.
1 and 2 for GameCube. And in the first boss in Sonic's, playing as Sonic, and I think maybe one other person too, there's like this cityscape, and in the city is a big billboard for Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2 Plus. And
Yep.
we're like, oh, that's Fantasy. We have that.
Yeah. There's
We
also
thought
one
that
for
was so
Knights,
cool.
Which
There's
was
a
another
Knights one
game
as
in
well.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All those Sonic Team games. So
And,
I always thought that was really cool.
You can occasionally, when you break open containers, you can see little like item blocks from PSO.
Yeah, so there's a
Item
space
containers.
level for Knuckles in particular. I
Oh
always
yeah,
remember
it was
that.
a Knuckles level.
There's a Knuckles level in space, and there's a little like green item container from PSO. I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah, and then in
that a
PSO,
Monomate? Yeah.
there's a Chow Mag and
Yes.
an Omo Chow Mag.
Yes,
So,
there is.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that's so cool. Love little things like that, especially when it's two games you have played a lot.
Yeah, so Sonic Team games have made up the vast majority of my playtime on the GameCube.
Yeah, those few years we really played a
like
lot.
those 3 games, and then Smash Bros. Are really
Smash Bros, yep.
the vast majority of games I played
Well,
on the
Custom
GameCube.
Robo's up there.
Oh yeah, I guess you're
For
right.
sure.
Yeah.
We loved Custom Robo.
Yeah,
For
it turns
me,
out
I had
there
a
was
few
actually
more.
I did play
There's so
GameCube
many,
a lot.
dude. There's so many.
Sometimes
good
I feel like I didn't
games,
play
dude.
GameCube all that much, and then I think about all these
GameCube
games.
is just one of my favorites ever.
Yeah.
I think it's because of how my age at the time. It's very formative years and stuff. But gosh, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Sunshine, Pikmin 1 and 2. It's some of my favorite. Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite games of all time were on the GameCube. So. Yep, and Sonic Adventure 2 is definitely up there. One of my top games. So thank you, Sonic Team, for all you did for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I might play with Chow someday soon. I don't know. That'd be
Yeah,
really
I know.
fun.
After talking
Be
about
really
it,
fun.
I'm like,
Do you have a copy? Do
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, I think I asked for it for Christmas one year, and
Yeah, I think I got it for you. So I've bought quite a few copies of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. All right. Well, that I think does it for our Sonic Adventure deep dive and our episode of this podcast.
Yep.
So there you go. Hey, if you liked listening to it, or even if you didn't like listening to it, you should give us a review, a really good one. You should download the podcast because that gives us very helpful analytic information. If you're on YouTube or wherever, you can comment, leave us a like, talk to us. We'd love to interact. We have a Twitter on twitter.com if you've ever heard of it. It
Or
is
within the Twitter app.
app for Android or even Apple devices. They have multiple. You can go to at the Brothers G Pod, not the Brothers G Pod, just at the Brothers G Pod.
Yeah.
There's also a link below if you're on YouTube. And there you go. That's the fun spiel.
That's it.
That's the podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.